Hello, my name is Sheryl Willis. I'm with eXp Realty, and you are watching this video because we're going to talk about the wow for 2021. All right, so let's look at the quick wrap up here for Greater Phoenix. First of all, we saw rents fly to an appreciation of 17%. We've never seen that much appreciation in rents. And it's funny hearing people complain about rents because let me tell you, if you're a property owner, you wouldn't be complaining because we saw values skyrocket to finish the year at 26%. Yes, earlier this year, we were reporting numbers in the 30s. But as we now catch up with some of that escalation late last year, we're going to finish the year with about 26% average appreciation for the Greater Phoenix area. If you're all thinking that maybe this is a bubble and that maybe things are going to change here in the real soon future, that's not going to happen. Let's talk about why. First of all, number one, the forbearances. That's what everybody likes to talk about. They're like, oh, I'm hoping and praying that there's so many people that are losing their homes. Like, how is that a good thing to hope for? Let me say, in the peak of the Great Recession, we were seeing over 10,000 foreclosure notices served on a monthly basis in Maricopa County. 10,000, okay? Everybody thinks that that's what's coming. You know where we're at right now? We're seeing an average of about 150 a month. 150 a month. I'm not saying there aren't any. There are some that, you know, people have traumatic things that happen in their life. They've always been there. There's death, there's divorce, there's other things that your money goes to and you have been unable to pay the mortgage. But let me tell you, most of these pre-foreclosure notices are on properties that are so equity rich that they will never actually go to foreclosure. So the likelihood of you picking up a property because it's just going to come on the market because of these forbearances is slim to none. Then there's also that, Zillow. It's so interesting, the Zillow, you know, how it morphed into these crazy stories. Yes, Zillow made a huge mistake. And, you know, all of us realtors want to say, kind of told you so. Like, this estimate's never been a real thing. We've fought with the consumer for years about that. So let me tell you, we had our heyday when we heard Zillow say, I was wrong. But nonetheless, they do have an inventory, but they're not dumping them. Why would they dump them? They can put them on at fair market value and all the buyers are going to come crazy. The problem is that Zillow just doesn't have the resources to get them all ready to for market. So what you are seeing on the market right now from Zillow are ready to be sold. And those that aren't on the market yet will be coming soon, but those will be at market value. All right, there's not that many here in the Greater Phoenix area. As a whole, it's about 500 to 700 is what I believe. They're not gonna be coming on the market, all at once, but let me tell you, still, we are about 15,000 homes short for being normal. Do you think even 500 would make a difference? No. All right, so let's talk about why is the market the crazy way it is. And it is going to be going right over into 2022. Okay, we have way more buyers than we have properties available. We do have a lot of institutional buyers. And you know what? When people say, yeah, but they're the ones that are blowing it completely out of the water. No, they're not. The institutional buyers that are buying homes like Zillow, not anymore, OfferPad, Open Door, they are purchasing homes from homeowners that are not on the market. They're fixing them up and they're putting them on the market to sell, the vast majority of them. The other ones are turning into rentals. Ooh, that's another thing. People are just like, oh my God, all these rentals. You know what? We have a shortage of rentals. We lost thousands of homes over the last 5 years to Airbnb. Those are not available for long-term rentals, right? So we have a shortage there too. How do you think adding more rental properties to the market is going to decline it in any way? In fact, there are more build to rent homes, single family homes, than we've ever seen. And you're probably thinking, what is that? That is when a builder will build homes with the intention of never selling them. They're just going to be for rent. Now, some of you might be thinking, yeah, but when that concept doesn't work, they're going to sell them. No, you know why? Because they're all being built on one parcel, not individual parcels. So they will always be a rental unless someone wants to buy at some point when it's for sale, 40, 50 homes all on one piece of land, and then have to pay to subdivide each of the parcels, very much like the condo conversions we saw in the 90s. The likelihood of that happening in the next 10 years is slim to none. Beyond 10 years, can't really project. I shouldn't be projecting that far in advance, right? Let's talk a little bit more about why we have so much buyer demand, even with the people that are already here. Now, with not enough inventory and more buyer demand, what do you think is going to happen? Prices are going to continue to rise. What that percentage is, we do not know. We can say with these numbers, they will absolutely continue to go this way in our foreseeable future. There's no indicators that it will change. And if you watch my video on a monthly basis, you won't be caught off guard because we'll see it coming at least 6 months, if not a year in advance. That's what numbers will do for you. So mortgage lending practices. Right now, people think, oh, anybody can get a loan. Not true. Boy, the banks are stingy. If you didn't know that, like some of the loan limits or the loan requirements, they're pretty stingy. In fact, the mortgage industry has a rating from 1 to 1,000. 1 being extremely tight, like no one's taking our money. In fact, that happened on a March date in 2020. Remember when everybody just said, stop, nope, we're not funding anything? That happened one day. And then the highest, the loosest, yeah, anyone take my money? That's gonna be 1,000. All right, now if we go back to 2005 and 6, when anybody take my money, if you have a heartbeat, if you have a pulse, sign here, you can have the money. That was at 800. 800, it never even got to 1,000. That was 800. Well, you know where we are today? We're like at 160. That's pretty stingy. So the banks right now actually are making some changes. And here's some exciting news. Well, exciting news for buyers that have just been waiting for that break to get in this market. Because let me tell you, if you've been waiting, that was not a good decision, because the rate of inflation has made it so hard for you to save money. On top of the prices have already gone up. You have to now save more. You're going to pay more. Interest rates are going to go up more. And no, housing does not cause inflation. Inflation causes rent to go up, right? So don't wait any longer than you have to, because it will continue to get further and further and further from your reach. So here are some of those lending things that are changing. First one, my favorite, is lending limits have gone up. So FHA, which everyone loves, and they think it stands for first-time home buyer, but it's not. It's called Federal Housing Authority loan. It's a government loan. It's the same government that also does the VA loans. And they have certain, regulatory requirements, and they've raised the limit. This is exciting. I remember, when it was in the low 300s, and it's now over 400. Like, that's insane. That's awesome. I'm so excited. So there's so many buyers that only could qualify for an FHA loan, but they couldn't compete because our prices have gone up. So now you're going to want to call your lender, check in and see where things are at, because you might be back in the game. All right, here's my second favorite. Jumbo loan requirements. There was a lot of people that were sitting in homes, maybe around that $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 range. They were looking at buying a home, maybe around $500,000 or $600,000. Maybe it was an older home, they want a newer home, or maybe you were, you had kids and they moved out, or maybe you were in a 400 and you want to move up to a 600. And the reason you didn't move was because the jumbo rate would require a higher interest rate, and it was going to cost you exponentially more money. Guess what? The jumbo max just went up as well, over 600. So I'm telling you, there's a lot of good things that I think that are going to loosen up a little bit, and for a lot of buyers, we're going to see an even higher buyer demand. See my dog there in the background? He's so funny. I don't know what he's doing. All right, and the third favorite. This one might be my favorite. I can have 3 favorites, right? So back in the day, all the buyers at one time used to have to put down 20% of the purchase. You know what? That's kind of hard. On a $400,000 home, to save up $80,000 just for your down payment, not including closing costs, moving costs, and everything else, that's difficult, all right? Well, then they started coming out with these great loans where you only had to put down 10% or 5%. There's even 3%, guys. But if you didn't put down 20%, the bank wanted you to take out an insurance policy called property mortgage insurance, PMI. Well, that PMI, it's 0.005% on the loan amount, could be a couple $100 a month. A couple $100 a month could have been a couple $100,000 more on your home. Well, maybe not that much, but you get my point. It's wasted money. So a lot of people, a lot of buyers, they've been saving their money. They still don't have that 20%, but here's the new thing. There are loans out there now that you only have to put down 10% and there's no property mortgage insurance. And if that changes the game for you, give us a call. Let me tell you, with all these things that are happening, we're going to see even more buyers come in the market. And let's talk about the one thing we know controls supply. We have no idea how many people are going to be leaving Maricopa County, or how many people are going to be combining household income or combining households, right? Boyfriend, girlfriend decide to get married. They own two homes. They move into one, right? We don't know that, but here's what we do know. We know what permits have been pulled for next year. And guess what? It's not so great news. Even if they were continuing at the same rate that they were earlier this year, full gang ahead. Well, you know what? We've all learned a new word in 2021. I'm going to say last year's magic word was pivot. This year, supply chain. I realize that's two words, but I'm going to say that's a word that you guys never used, or a term, okay? Term. Not only do we have supply chain issues, but we also have labor issues. So even if we could get the things from wherever they're coming from onto the ship and into the port, then how do we get them from the port into the warehouses, into the distribution? We're all learning about this, right? The butterfly effect. And that's exactly what's happening. So because the builders can't keep up with the demand, instead of being yelled at all the time and also missing out on money, gotta admit, guys, everybody's in business to make money. They've cut back their building permits. So what will 2022 do for us here in the greater Phoenix area? Well, we have more and more companies moving here literally every single day. We have TSMC that is going to be opening up their facility. In fact, I just drove by it yesterday. I counted 13 cranes. It is insane. If you guys haven't been up by 303 and 17, and it's like, yeah, the middle of the desert, it's just dirt, you can't miss this. 13 cranes, guys. Yep, and they have their first employees coming out here in August. So as all those employees start coming, all the supply chain companies start coming in, and I'm telling you, Peoria and the surrounding areas are going to be pew, like absolutely nutty. The federal approved Interstate 11 that's going to be going straight from the far west part of Greater Phoenix straight up to Las Vegas to change the trucker routes, which, by the way, I also was on 40 from Flagstaff. Thank goodness I was coming in from the California direction towards Flagstaff, but I saw the trucks all delayed on 40 heading out to LA. All of that congestion is going to be on this new Interstate 11. What do you think it's going to do to the west side of the valley? Like, it's insane. The greater Phoenix area has only just begun. So, with no further ado, if you're even thinking about buying or selling, please pick up that phone, give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email. Days, nights, weekends, I am here when you are thinking about moving to the greater Phoenix area. And if you've already made that magical call and we got you into home, keep watching my videos, tell your friends all about it, and just watch your values go up. And you know what? Worst case scenario, if it was just the rate of inflation, oh, wait, right, that's the highest that's ever been too. Enjoy your home. Thanks, guys. Have a happy holiday and be good, be safe, be kind. Until next time. Bye.